For the first time in the entire Record of Ragnarok tournament, humanity has taken the lead with back-to-back wins. The most respected god Hades was slayed by the Chinese king, resulting in rage from all the gods, so much so Adamas actually pulled up on Brunhilde and Gol, attempting to kill them. However, they were saved by Beelzebub, who's here to warn them about the destruction of humanity and what's coming next. As a response, Brunhilde decides to pick a certain warrior for humanity's round 8 fight. Someone who's been waiting in this room since the very beginning, humanity's one and only sorcerer. It is him, Nikola Tesla, the ultimate scientist, who is here to defeat the gods with the power of science, meeting his Valkyrie right away and revealing what he's been doing since the start of Ragnarok, further expansions of science with this otherworldly knowledge, performing the Volume known as Magic Wielder, resulting in his mech suit which he'll be using to fight the gods, known as Super Automation, claiming that this is our time to indeed surpass the gods. On the other hand, Beelzebub has approached Hermes so we can tell Zeus that he's going next. This is Record of Ragnarok round 8, Nikola Tesla vs Beelzebub, the Lord of the Flies. A clash that featured very different walkouts, but both respectable in their own right, and the fight officially begins with Tesla checking out Beelzebub, wondering if he has any unique material on his body. But as a response, Beelzebub cracks his staff on the ground, unleashing a powerful attack that forces Tesla to dodge, screaming that it's science. This is because Beelzebub's ability connects to the use of vibrations, and is followed up by him charging with his hand out, forcing Tesla to barely dodge once again, but damage has already been dealt, resulting in a counter, the use of the mech suit to zip around the arena and land his own powerful attack, ones that force Beelzebub to dodge as a response. This is the beginning of Tesla's plasma pulse punches, and features various combos that allows him to catch Beelzebub off guard and seemingly land an attack. However, it was in fact unsuccessful. Beelzebub blocked it with his shield-based vibration ability enhanced by his staff, and followed up with his own offensive means as well, something that required Tesla to use both of his fists simultaneously. A true clash of power is occurring right now, and Beelzebub is able to unleash even more vibration-based power, overwhelming the human and dealing once again major damage on his opponent, easily taking the lead in the fight thus far. Therefore, as a response, Tesla begins changing stuff up a little bit, but this is after actually praising the god for his fighting style. However, Tesla has been planning something from the very beginning. Out of nowhere, his mech suit begins to react to the arena, lightning is going everywhere, and he creates an entire cage, in a sense a fly trap. This is the Gematria zone, the prison of the gods, something that allows Tesla to float mid-air with his mech suit, and in this place, this is where he becomes the god. Charging with increased speed once again, close-up combat that Beelzebub is once again able to block. However, this time some damage was able to get through and slice him up somewhat. Then the insane combos with unpredictable movement begins occurring. Beelzebub is able to react to seemingly everything and block most of the major damage. This includes landing his own counters and enhancements with his staff. However, Tesla is not stopping and getting more wild with his Tesla steps. Beelzebub is starting to get in trouble, but stopping himself from facing any major damage, demonstrating how overpowered his defense really is, and has completely shut down the Tesla step, forcing the human to go further beyond, unleashing his next set of abilities, literal teleportation, with him catching Beelzebub completely off guard with an attack that explodes the entire arena. The aftermath has resulted in major damage finally being landed on Beelzebub, who is now threatened by Tesla's new ability, the Tesla Warp, something he can only use a few times throughout this battle. However, as we just saw, it's insanely dangerous and truly highlights how humanity can continue to progress, resulting in Beelzebub to unleash a certain ability that has been deemed as taboo. This is known as Chaos and seemingly blows up the entire arena and affects many parts outside of Valhalla as well, something unlike anything else we've seen in all of Ragnarok, and highlights Tesla surviving but insanely damaged, with all of his power being used just to survive it. However, the damage also was inflicted on Beelzebub himself, next level vibrations that combined his own power in combination with the staff of Olympus, bringing us to the final stage of the fight. Beelzebub now acknowledges Tesla as truly amazing, while the human highlights that as long as science continues to grow, humanity will never die, resulting in an exchange between the two once again. Tesla is zipping around the arena while Beelzebub dodges and blocks most of his attacks. However, both have been insanely damaged, particularly Beelzebub from unleashing his previous attack, beginning to get somewhat overwhelmed, but can still completely change the turn of the battle with a single attack, landing directly on Tesla once again, and highlights that his mech suit is beginning to fail. However, Beelzebub does not stop, putting his life on the line for the first time in this fight as he attacks Tesla, resulting in the Curse of Lilith beginning to activate. This is something that connects to Beelzebub's flashback and limiting the Satan from within him from coming out, at least in some type of way. When Beelzebub is throwing his life away or trying to get himself killed, the demon within comes out and pretty much saves him every time. However, this situation is different. He is not trying to get himself killed, he is simply offering up his life. Therefore, the curse stops and Beelzebub unleashes another all-powerful attack, one that Tesla is not able to dodge, therefore he can only block and faces major damage once again, but of course manages to survive due to the future of science and screams incredible. This is time for the final clash. Beelzebub begins blocking some of Tesla's combos, but then we have the Plasma Pulse Punch Morbius coming out, seemingly an infinite combo of blows that begin to overwhelm Beelzebub's unstoppable defense. Lightning and insane power is going everywhere throughout the arena. Tesla has broken into the realm of the gods. However, similar to many other rounds, the fighter is still human, and the effects from Beelzebub's taboo technique known as Chaos have been demonstrated once again. The vibrations were a special kind and even resulted in internal damage on Tesla due to being hit by it, forcing him to try another approach, an insane combo unlike anything ever before, the next progression of science and his abilities. He teleports one of his arms this time directly behind Beelzebub, simultaneously attacking with his remaining one, the Plasma Pulse Punch Cross, the checkmate in this fight. If only Beelzebub wasn't simply built different. He manages to block the teleported arm and the Tesla in front of him and land the finishing blow by piercing the human's heart instantly as well, resulting in Tesla to praise the god, show his respect, and remind everyone that humanity will continue to progress. Beelzebub has indeed won against Nikola Tesla in Record Ragnarok Round 8 after 18 minutes of insanity. Thanks for watching. Check out these breakdowns of Round 9, 10, and even 11 out now here on Mysterious Weeb.